Pro players are really good at playing the game. Listen to that again. They're really good at playing the game. That is not the same as building items. They've never been good at building items, and they probably never will be. Their approach to improvement and playing well is usually not reading the wiki, patch notes, champions history, item history, and theory crafting. A lot of pros don't want to do that. So why the fuck would you blindly copy them? Let's take a look at Anivia and Galio. Two champions that item-wise has not really been changed. Anivia lost armor growth. Galio has only been buffed, I think. Don't think Galio even has been nerfed. Kaenic Rukern, Hollow Radiance, Abyssal Mask. None of those items have been nerfed in the past like half a year. The only thing that has been added to the game is Mandate. Okay? Somehow Anivia has changed her build, and same for Galio. 3 times Galio has changed his build. Let's take a look at the beginning of Anivia. Other than Caps, the GOAT, everyone else was playing Roa and Seraphs. For those following me on Twitter, you know during this whole time I was talking about like, I don't think that Tear is usually good on Anivia. I think most of the games you don't need mana. Most of the games rushing Roa is better to get it stacked ASAP, and so that you can buy items like Liandry's, Malignance, Sonya's, Rocket Belt. These are all better items than Seraphs generally speaking. Then we had this period here, where eventually now if you look at like Showmaker and stuff, we see Showmaker here, playing Doran's Ring, Roa, Swifties, Pink Ward, you know. And this was like, people were starting to play no Roa. Look at Yahoo, right? And I was like, not no Roa, like no Seraphs, I mean. And I was like, oh, nice. All right, so Anivia is now solved. You know, Honku playing no Seraphs. And it's like, okay, nice. We can move on. But now nothing has changed, and then now we start to see Seraphs starting to come back. Nothing has changed other than Chovy pulled up and decided that now he's going to play Seraphs again. Rocket Belt has been good on mages ever since they added more haste to the item. Okay? It has been good since that change. I was playing it on Veigar, first item, for a long time. For over a year now. And all of a sudden, people started to go it, even though Rocket Belt hasn't been changed for ages. So think for yourself, read patch notes, look at champion history, look at patch histories in the past, look at previous items built on champions before, and think a bit, because if you're blindly copying, you're going to end up like these Galio examples. At the start, everyone was going Hollow Radiance on Galio. If you go back in time, it was every single game people would go Hollow Radiance. Hollow Radiance and Sunfire are both pretty bad items unless your champion really needs Wave Clear. Galio has Wave Clear on Q and passive. Yes, he benefits a little bit from extra tempo because he wants to roam and blah blah blah. But in general, stats is better than tempo. That's just a fact. If you look at pro games, Hollow Radiance never really did much. And you'd rather have stats. For stats, you want Abyssal Mask if you have AP team, or you want Kaenic, especially if they have an AP team. Okay? So, we had the whole Hollow Radiance meta. Then, randomly, Abyssal Mask, every game Abyssal Mask into Mandate. And then now we start to see Kaenic again. Now, take a look at Call Me. 041, this game. Mandate, Hollow Radiance. Surely enemy was solo AP, right? This was against us. I had to watch this game. I was flaming this Galio in my brain the entire game I was watching us. Okay? I was watching us fist them. Loki, AP champ. Casio, AP champ. Call Me, Hollow Radiance. Not Kaenic. Hollow Radiance. You're solo AP Galio. So you don't want Abyssal Mask. Go Kaenic. And now imagine you're like Diamond 1, so you have like a little bit of brain, right? You can think a little bit about items. You're like Diamond 1, you're like Master, and you look at Call Me, and you're just like, oh, he went Hollow Radiance, so I'm gonna go Hollow Radiance. No. Please. I promise you, he gave this no thought whatsoever. Okay? So, no shade to him. I'm sure he's good at playing the game, but playing the game and building the right items is 2 different things. Okay? And I think, especially in the West, we're actually really good at building items and understanding patch notes. So use it. Abyssal Mask plus Mandate is great. It's a good combo. But if they're heavy AP on enemy team, which they often are if you're playing Galio, Kaenic Rukern is better unless you have multiple AP on your own team and you value giving your teammates damage. This is not how a lot of the pros are thinking. A lot of them are thinking that Chovy picked Galio, so I'm going to go it. And I'm going to tell you for a fact, a lot of pros, this is how they go about before their stage match. Their coach tells them, yo, tomorrow you're playing Orianna, Galio, or Azir, most likely. And then the pro goes, they watch some VODs of Galio and Ori, whatever, and they see, oh, Chovy went this and this, these games, so I'm going to go it. And then they go on stage, a slightly different scenario happens than what Chovy had, which then leads to, oh, you should go now Koenig, but then they go Abyssal Mask anyways, and they look like a complete fool, and they're useless. So, think for yourself, use players as more of like a idea or inspiration to try things, but don't just be like, Chovy did this, I'm gonna do this, because Chovy has been wrong in the past. He's currently wrong, in my opinion, going back to tier Anivia. I think that's only good if you're against like really like big tanky mid that can burn your mana. If you're against Ryze, people played Roa Rush for like 2 months, they were completely fine. I'm fine every game I play it. The only way that you're not fine playing Roa Rush is if you buy double Ruby and then you immediately die. But that is a player error. If you make it to Catalyst, you're fine. And then you'll be happy because you'll buy actual items that you will need. So yeah. The whole point is that pro players are extremely good at playing the game. They are less good at building items. They never have been good at building items. They never will be.